A day in the woods. Deep in the heart of the whispering woods, where the trees stretched high into the sky and the rivers giggled as they danced over smooth stones, lived a little bear named Bruno. Bruno wasn't just any bear, he was the most curious, bouncy, and adventurous cub in the whole forest. His fur was as soft as a cloud, his round ears perked up whenever he heard something interesting, and his big, bright eyes sparkled with excitement every morning, ready for a brand new day. Bruno lived in a cozy den beneath an old oak tree with his loving mama bear, wise papa bear, and his two giggly twin sisters, Bella and Bibi. Bella and Bibi loved to play tricks on Bruno, hiding his favorite pine cones and sneaking berries from his paws. But no matter how much they teased each other, they always ended the day snuggled together in their warm den, listening to Mama Bear's bedtime stories. One sunny morning, golden rays of sunlight peeked through the leafy canopy, painting the forest floor with warm, dancing light. Birds chirped cheerfully, a gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of wildflowers, and the sound of rustling leaves whispered, "Adventure is waiting." Bruno stretched his little paws and sniffed the air. Something smelled delicious. His tummy gave a happy rumble. Honey. Bruno's eyes widened with delight. Somewhere nearby, there had to be a beehive dripping with golden, sticky honey. His nose twitched as he followed the mouth-watering scent. He took a few steps away from the den, his little tail wiggling with excitement. Just a quick look, he told himself. After all, Bruno loved exploring new places. He loved chasing butterflies, splashing in the cool, bubbling river, and climbing trees, even though Mama Bear always warned him, "Be careful, my little explorer." But today would be a different kind of adventure. Because today, Bruno's curiosity would take him farther than ever before. And soon, he would find himself lost in the deep, whispering woods, all alone. Bruno padded softly through the forest, following the sweet, golden scent of honey. The farther he walked, the stronger the smell became, and his little paws tingled with excitement. Just a little more, he thought, his tummy rumbling louder now. He wiggled through bushes, hopped over a tiny creek, and squeezed between two mossy rocks. Then, there it was. A huge beehive dangled from the branch of a sturdy old tree, dripping with thick, glistening honey. The golden drops sparkled in the sunlight, and Bruno's mouth watered just looking at them. Maybe just one little taste. Bruno reached up on his tiptoes and stretched his paw toward the hive. But, zit. A loud buzzing filled the air as a swarm of bees zoomed out, flitting around Bruno's head. "Uh-oh!" Bruno yelped, tumbling backward into a pile of leaves. The bees weren't too angry, but they made it very clear, no honey for little bears today. Bruno sighed and stood up, brushing leaves from his fur. His tummy still rumbled, but now something else made him stop. Everything around him looked different. The trees here were taller, their branches twisting like giant arms. The forest floor was covered in soft, green moss instead of crunchy leaves. And the birds weren't singing the same songs he knew. Bruno's ears twitched. Where was the river? Where were the familiar trees near his den? His heart gave a little thump-thump in his chest. I don't know which way to go. Bruno whispered, turning in circles. He had been so excited to find the honey that he hadn't noticed how far he'd wandered. Now, the forest felt big. Bigger than ever before. And for the first time that day, Bruno felt small. The wind rustled through the leaves, whispering softly. The trees swayed gently, but they didn't tell him the way home. Bruno took a deep breath. Okay. Papa Bear always says, a smart bear is a calm bear. Bruno puffed out his chest, trying to feel brave. I can do this. I just have to find my way back home. But which way should he go? With a determined little nod, Bruno picked a direction and started walking. But deep in the forest, every tree looked the same, and soon, he realized. He was completely lost. Bruno's big adventure. Bruno walked carefully through the forest, his little paws making soft patter-patter sounds on the mossy ground. He looked left. He looked right. Every tree seemed tall and unfamiliar. Stay calm, Bruno, he whispered to himself. A smart bear is a calm bear. He tried to remember what Papa Bear had taught him. If you ever get lost, look for clues in nature. Bruno's ears perked up. Clues? Yes. He sniffed the air. The honey scent had faded, but the forest smelled of damp earth and pine needles. He listened carefully. Somewhere in the distance, he heard the faint trickle of running water. The river. Bruno's eyes lit up. If I find the river, I can find my way home. With new determination, he followed the sound of water. He climbed over fallen logs, squeezed through bushes, and waded through a patch of soft ferns. His little legs were getting tired, but he kept going. Then, splash! Bruno's paws landed in a cool, shallow stream. The water swirled around his toes, sparkling in the sunlight. I did it, he cheered. But, was this the same river near his den? Bruno's excitement wavered. The river was long, it could lead anywhere. Just then, a friendly voice chirped from above. Hello down there. You look a little lost. Bruno looked up to see a bright red robin perched on a low branch, tilting her head curiously. I'm Ruby. Where are you trying to go? Bruno's tail wiggled with hope. I need to find my home, he said. I live near a giant oak tree with a big, warm den underneath. Ruby fluffed her feathers. Oh, I know that tree. I fly past it every day. Bruno's heart leaped. You do? Can you show me the way? Ruby gave a cheerful nod. Follow me. With that, she spread her tiny wings and flitted ahead, guiding Bruno along the river's edge. As they walked, the forest started to look more familiar. Bruno recognized the bend in the river where he loved to splash. Then he saw the big flat rock where he and his sisters liked to nap in the sun. Then, there it was. The giant oak tree. And right beneath it, the cozy den where his family was waiting. Bruno's little legs couldn't run fast enough. Mama, Papa, Bella, Bibi. I'm home, he called, his voice full of joy. Mama Bear rushed out first, scooping him up in a warm, furry hug. Oh, my little explorer. We were so worried, she said, covering him in kisses. Papa Bear smiled proudly. You found your way home all by yourself? Bruno nodded. Well, I had a little help. He pointed to Ruby, who chirped happily from a tree branch. Mama Bear smiled at the tiny bird. Thank you, Ruby. You are always welcome in our forest. Ruby gave a happy twirl in the air. It was my pleasure. Bruno is very brave. Bruno beamed with pride. He had been scared, but he had used his smarts, courage, and a little help from a friend to find his way home. That night, as the stars twinkled in the sky, Bruno snuggled up with his sisters in their warm, cozy den. Today was my biggest adventure ever, he thought sleepily. But the best part of all was coming home. And with a happy sigh, the little bear drifted off to sleep, dreaming of his next adventure, one that would start right where he belonged.